All right, my friends, today I am reviewing this DVD, Mastering the Von Flue Choke. It is by James Klingerman. First off, if you don't know what the Von Flue choke is, it is kind of I would say a counter to a guillotine choke. So Jason Von Flue, hence Von Flue choke, did this choke in the UFC. Now, what happens is you're in a guillotine, or a guillotine is being set up by a person who is playing guard typically. There's lots of variations to set this up, and they're in this DVD, there's a ton of them. But the basic Von Flue choke, someone's trying to guillotine you, you pass the guard to the opposite side of your head, the proper way to do that. Now, they don't let go of the guillotine, or how he shows in this DVD, you don't let them let go of the guillotine, which is a big deal. I didn't really realize that was part of the aspect of the Von Flue choke. I thought, man, he's not letting go, I could transition to Von Flue. No, as you're passing the guard with your head stuck, you trap that arm there to where they're stuck there. That arm is behind your head. Anyway, you pass and you use some shoulder pressure, and their arm is stuck, and you kind of roll their shoulder up into the other side. Very fascinating choke, very tricky as far as like a surprise goes. There is a ton of details in here about how to set up the Von Flue choke, how to finish it. A lot of transitions from the Von Flue choke. If you know, we all been there with the chokes. You feel like it's locked in, you've got it, you're applying pressure, and something is just not quite right. He's going to have a ton of sweeps, some back takes, and different transitions to different attacks if you get in that spot. But really, if you can get them to wrap your head up and go for a guillotine, that's really when the fun starts for you. So part of my goal with these reviews is to who does this help, and would this be the right DVD for you? First off, I got to think that the guillotine is probably a more fundamental technique. So if you don't understand the guillotine, learn that first, because it's always good, if you want to become a better guard passer, become a good guard player, or vice versa. Like, it's good to see the opposite side of it. You can't really understand the Von Flue choke and how to avoid the guillotine unless you have a decent guillotine at least. So if you have no guillotine at all, I would say do that first, because you're going to be putting yourself in guillotines for just a little bit while you transition to this choke. That's a big deal. So the basic understanding of guillotine is I think essential before you start picking up the counter to this. And it's not just a typical counter where you get out of it. It's a counter that is aggressive, and then you attack, and you choke the other person instead. So that's kind of a fun way to think about a counter. It's actually an attack, not just a defensive technique. So with the Von Flue choke, if your opponents or your training partners don't do guillotines, this probably will be a bit tricky to get the reps in and that practice in. So if you've got guys and gals that are guillotining you all the time, this is a perfect DVD. This is really going to help you. A, it'll make them a little more nervous to try guillotining all the time, and B, it's going to be something that you could work on a regular basis. Myself, I've ran into a bit of a hurdle. I watched about the first half or so, 3/4, and I can't get anybody to guillotine me. I don't like putting my head out, and B, most of the guys I train with on a regular basis don't do a ton of guillotine. So I'm like, man, I'm not getting my good practice in on my Von Flue choke. Towards the end of the DVD, he shows something he calls like reverse engineering the Von Flue choke. Or really, he breaks down how to get their arm stuck around your head in different ways when they're not even trying to guillotine. So he's got a way where you can go for an arm bar. He counters the arm bar. You end up putting your arm, their arm around your head, and you're able to start the Von Flue choke from there. Also Kimura. There's a couple other setups, but that is really where it takes it from you need them to attack first to where you could get the practice in if you could start these other attacks, and they don't necessarily need to be a great guillotine person or even to try and guillotine. So I think that is a really valuable chapter in here. There's tons of techniques, there's tons of variations of the Von Flue choke and different ways to finish it, and different transitions after it, or how to get there from bottom or top or side or half, or tons of stuff in there. But really the part that really got me the most that helped me would be how to get it when they're not even trying to guillotine, how to start that technique. And another big thing that I've realized, I mentioned already, is keeping that arm trapped. So the arm's around your head. Sometimes when the person's a little bit new, it's like, man, he's not letting go of my head, it's annoying. Now that's a good thing. Now that you don't want to let go of your head. But most good people, and we're trying to tap out good people, and we don't want to just tap out new people all the time. The good people are going to release your head as you pass. It's not, even if they're not even afraid of the Von Flue choke, it doesn't help them to hold your head down. So they should be releasing anyway. But he really shows a lot of great deals how to not let that hand free, how to keep their arm stuck behind your head. And to me, that is, it's great because you can see it in your training partners. They start to like, oh, my hand's stuck. They go from the point where I need to release the head to where I can't release the head. Clearly, this is intentional and I'm in trouble. So that's kind of fun. So it takes it from the idea that, I'm attacking, with my guillotine, and then I'm purposely being stuck in this position I put myself in. And that's just kind of a thing about the Von Flue choke. The DVD is available on thefighthub.com. If you're looking for ways to counter the guillotine or looking for an aggressive, unique style of choke from the top, I think this is a good one. He shows it from the bottom and all that stuff as well. But if you've got opponents that are guillotining you quite a bit, this would definitely be a good pickup for you. If you don't even understand the guillotine yourself, you better learn that first, I would think, just so you can understand what your opponent is trying to do. Because the guillotine is still a valid choke. It's not like I'm never going to get caught again. You still need to be able to pass to the correct side and all these things. And if you don't understand the basic mechanics of the guillotine, you're probably going to get caught in that as well. And he does a good job explaining what you need to do to pass. And so if you are getting caught in the guillotine a lot, he does a good job explaining how to counter it, not just by getting the Von Flue choke, but how to really avoid getting choked. So a lot of stuff going on in this DVD, but it's all Von Flue choke. Do check out the video. I'm sure there's one on YouTube. I'll find a link for it, of Jason Von Flue pulling this choke off in the UFC for the first time. It was a surprise. I remember it. I think, oh, this guy's asleep. Are you serious? He just got choked. Surprising that this worked. But now that it's out there and we know it, and there's great DVDs like this, no more so of a surprise than it needs to be. So thanks for checking out this video. I got lots more DVD reviews out there on YouTube here. Like the channel if you want to see more of them, and check us out next time.